The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Picture this, a guy named Charles Bukowski, absolutely crushing it at life, by every measure of complete and utter failure. We're talking peak disaster territory here. Gambling? Check. Drinking? Double check. Meaningless jobs that make you question the entire concept of employment? Oh yeah. For 30 years, this man filed letters at a post office for basically peanuts, while nursing a depression deeper than the Grand Canyon. But here's the kicker. All he ever wanted was to be a writer, so he sent his work out into the world, again and again and again. And what did the world say back? No thanks. Your writing is crude, disgusting, and frankly, kinda messed up. Rejection slips piled up like dirty dishes in a bachelor's apartment. The man was drowning. Then something wild happened. At 50 years old, after half a century of feeling like the universe's punching bag, some brave editor at a tiny publishing house said, "You know what? Let's do this." No money, no promises, just a shot in the dark. Bukowski's response? Legendary. "I have one of two choices. Stay in the post office and go crazy, or stay out here and play at writer and starve. I have decided to starve." 3 weeks later, he cranked out his first novel, Post Office. The dedication? To nobody. That book, and the ones that followed, sold millions. This lifelong failure became an unexpected success. Now this is where most motivational speakers would pump their fists and yell, "See? Never give up. Believe in yourself." Right? The classic American dream story, all wrapped up with a bow. But hold up, here's where things get weird. On Charles Bukowski's tombstone, his epitaph reads just 2 words. Don't try. Don't try. What the actual heck does that mean? It's like the universe's most confusing riddle, and it perfectly captures the bizarre genius of one of the most brutally honest books ever written about living a good life. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. This isn't your grandma's self-help book. Nobody's asking you to manifest your dreams or meditate on a mountaintop. In fact, Manson argues that our entire culture's obsession with being positive all the time is actually what's making us miserable. Plot twist! So buckle up. Today, we're diving into this counterintuitive approach to life. And by the end, you'll understand a powerful secret. The path to happiness isn't about adding more stuff to your life. It's about letting go. It's about figuring out what actually matters and discovering the incredible freedom that comes from caring about less. Because, as the title suggests, not giving a fuck is truly an art form, and mastering it might just change your entire game. Book summary. Let's kick things off with a truth bomb that might sting a little. Our society has been selling us a massive lie. Think about it. From the moment you could barely walk, you've been bombarded with messages screaming that the key to happiness is more. More stuff, more success, more followers, a shinier car, a bigger house, a vacation that makes your friends jealous, a partner who looks like they walked off a magazine cover. We're told to give a fuck about everything, all the time. Your weekend? Better be Instagram worthy. Your career? Better be crushing it. Even your selfie stick. Better be the right kind. But here's the problem. You only have so many fucks to give. Think of it like a currency. You wake up each day with a limited supply. And if you're spending them on whether your avocado toast looks good enough for social media, you're basically broke when something that actually matters shows up. Mark Manson's first big revelation hits like a cold bucket of water. The key to a good life isn't giving a fuck about more things, it's giving a fuck about fewer things. Better things. The right things. And this is where most self-help gurus would lose their minds. Manson says that trying to be positive all the time is like trying to fight gravity. Pointless, exhausting, and honestly, kind of delusional. Here's what he means. When someone tells you, just think positive about a problem, what are they really saying? They're saying your feelings are wrong, that being sad or scared or angry is somehow a failure. But guess what? Sometimes life genuinely sucks. Your dog dies. You lose your job. Your heart gets stomped on. And pretending it's all sunshine and rainbows doesn't make it better. It just makes you feel like garbage for feeling like garbage. It's negativity squared. Manson calls this the feedback loop from hell. You feel bad, then you feel bad about feeling bad. Then you feel bad about feeling bad, about feeling bad. It's like emotional quicksand, and positive thinking is what pushes you deeper. So what's the antidote? Stop trying to be happy all the time. Instead, ask yourself, what pain am I willing to endure? Because here's the real secret. A good life isn't a life without problems. It's a life with good problems. Problems you choose. Problems that actually mean something to you. Want to be a great musician? Cool. Are you willing to practice scales until your fingers hurt? To bomb at open mic nights? To hear no 1,000 times? Because that's the price. Everyone wants the result, but few people want the struggle. And the struggle is where the magic happens. This brings us to what might be the most uncomfortable truth in the entire book. You are not special. Now, before you throw this across the room, hear me out. You've been told your whole life that you're unique, exceptional, destined for greatness. Participation trophies, social media likes, everyone's a winner. But what has that actually given us? A generation of people who feel entitled to greatness without earning it, and then spiral into anxiety when reality doesn't match up. Manson's take? Being average is actually totally fine. In fact, it's freeing. Most of us are pretty ordinary at most things. And that's okay. The beauty of life isn't found in being extraordinary at everything. It's found in caring deeply about a few select things, and being okay with being mediocre at the rest. You don't have to be the world's best parent, friend, employee, and Instagram influencer all at once. Pick your battles. Give your precious fucks to the things that genuinely matter to you. Now let's talk about responsibility, because this is where Manson drops another bomb that hits different. We love to blame things on other people or circumstances. Your childhood was rough. That's why you're struggling. Your boss is terrible. That's why you hate your job. Your ex was toxic. That's why you can't trust anyone. And sure, maybe all those things are true. Maybe you've been dealt a genuinely crappy hand. But here's the thing. Even if something isn't your fault, it's still your responsibility to deal with it. This sounds harsh, but it's actually incredibly empowering. Because if you're sitting around waiting for other people to fix your life, you're going to be waiting forever. Nobody's coming to save you. The cavalry isn't on its way. You're the hero of this story, whether you like it or not. Manson uses a great example. If someone rear-ends your car, it's not your fault. But it's absolutely your responsibility to handle it. File the insurance claim. Get it fixed. Deal with it. Life is constantly rear-ending us with stuff we didn't ask for. Taking responsibility isn't about blame. It's about taking back your power. Here's another mindbender. You're wrong about everything. And so am I, and so is everyone you know. We walk through life thinking we've got it figured out. Our beliefs, our opinions, our understanding of how the world works. We treat them like facts. But the truth is, we're constantly wrong about stuff. Our memories are unreliable. Our perceptions are biased. Our feelings lie to us all the time. And that's actually beautiful. Because if you can accept that you're probably wrong about a lot of things, you become free to learn, to grow, to change your mind without your ego melting down. Manson calls this being less certain. Not wishy-washy, not spineless, just humble enough to question yourself. It's the difference between saying I'm right and saying I could be wrong. That tiny shift opens up entire universes of possibility. Let's talk values for a second, because not all values are created equal. Some values, what Manson calls bad values, are terrible for your well-being. Things like pleasure, material success, always being right, or staying positive all the time. Why are they bad? Because they're outside your control, they're based on other people, they're superficial, and they don't lead to lasting fulfillment. Good values? They're things like honesty, creativity, vulnerability, standing up for something, helping others. These are based on your actions and choices. They're internal. They're about the process, not the outcome. Here's a powerful example. If your value is being rich, you're setting yourself up for misery. Why? Because there's always someone richer. You could make $1 million and still feel like a failure because someone else made $2 million. But if your value is creating value for others or growing as a person, every day gives you a chance to succeed. And this connects to what Manson calls the do something principle, which might be his most practical piece of advice in the whole book. We've been taught that the cycle goes like this. Inspiration leads to motivation, which leads to action. So we sit around waiting for inspiration to strike, waiting to feel like it. But Manson flips this on its head. Action comes first. Action creates inspiration, which creates motivation, which creates more action. It's a loop, and you can start it anywhere. Feeling stuck? Don't wait to feel motivated. Just do something, anything. Write one bad sentence, clean one dish, make one phone call. Let the action itself generate the motivation. This is absolute gold for anyone who's ever procrastinated their way into oblivion. Now we're getting to the heavy stuff: uncertainty, failure, and death. Fun times. Let's start with uncertainty. We hate not knowing. Our brains are desperate for certainty, for control. We construct elaborate stories about how things are and how they'll be, just so we can feel safe. But life laughs at our plans. The truth is, we don't know anything for sure. And trying to be certain about everything is exhausting. It makes us rigid, defensive, and closed off to new experiences. But what if we embraced uncertainty? What if we said, I don't know, and that's okay? This isn't about being passive. It's about being comfortable with the unknown, which is where all growth happens. The best things in life, the most meaningful experiences, usually involve stepping into uncertainty. Then there's failure. Oh, failure. We've been taught to avoid it at all costs. But here's what Manson wants you to understand. Failure is the path forward. Every successful person you admire, they failed more than you, they failed bigger than you, they failed publicly and embarrassingly. But they kept going because they understood something crucial. Failure is feedback. It's data. It's how you learn what doesn't work so you can figure out what does. The people who never fail are the people who never try. They're so scared of being wrong that they stay stuck in mediocrity, telling themselves stories about how they could have been great if only they'd tried. Don't be that person. And finally, let's talk about the big one, death. Most of us spend our entire lives running from this reality. We build careers, families, legacies, trying to create something that will outlive us. The philosopher Ernest Becker called these immortality projects. It's our way of pretending we won't die, that some part of us will live forever. But Manson argues that the ultimate freedom comes from accepting your death, not in a morbid way, but in a liberating one. When you truly accept that you're going to die, you stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop trying to impress people you don't like. You stop chasing someone else's definition of success. You become free to choose your values without the desperate need to prove yourself. You can care about simple, immediate, controllable things. Things that are greater than yourself. This is the ultimate freedom, understanding that you're already complete. You don't need to achieve greatness to be worthy. You're worthy simply because, in the face of confusion and certain death, you keep choosing what to give a fuck about. That simple act of choosing your own values in this one short life you have is what makes you beautiful, successful, and loved. Not your achievements. Not your status. Just you, making choices, one fuck at a time. Commentary. What Mark Manson has done with the subtle art of not giving a fuck is more than just write a book. He's kicked off a conversation our culture desperately needs. He's taken a spotlight and aimed it straight at the dark corners where our modern anxieties hide. The book's most powerful lesson? It completely redefines what a, quote, life means. We've been taught to chase happiness like it's a destination, a prize, at the end of a race. But Manson flips this entirely. A good life isn't a life without problems. It's a life with good problems. Problems we choose. Problems that give us meaning. Problems we actually enjoy solving. This is profound and liberating in equal measure. It gives us permission to stop feeling bad about feeling bad. It reminds us that struggle isn't a sign of failure. It's a prerequisite for meaning. You're not broken because life is hard. Life is supposed to be hard. The question is, what hard are you choosing? His second major contribution is brilliantly dismantling entitlement. He shows how our obsession with being exceptional, fueled by an endless stream of social media highlight reels, has created a generation of people who feel they deserve greatness without earning it. The idea that accepting our own mediocrity isn't failure, but freedom is one of the most comforting messages in the book. It releases us from the crushing pressure to be extraordinary and allows us to find joy in the simple, ordinary, real parts of life. A solid friendship, helping someone who needs it, creating something just for the joy of creating. So how can you start applying these ideas today? Here are some simple actions to consider. First, practice the do something principle. Next time you feel stuck, unmotivated, or overwhelmed, don't wait for inspiration. Just do something, anything. Make it the smallest possible action. Need to write an essay? Write one terrible sentence. Need to clean your room? Pick up one piece of clothing. Let the action itself ignite your motivation. Second, ask yourself, what pain do I want? Instead of focusing on the rewards you want in life, think about the struggles you're willing to endure. What are you willing to work for, to fail at, to sacrifice for? That answer will reveal far more about your potential path than any daydream about success. And finally, for just 1 week, practice being a little less certain. Ask yourself, what if I'm wrong? Entertain the idea that your beliefs, assumptions, and feelings might not be the whole truth. This isn't about self-destruction. It's about creating space for growth. It's about cultivating the humility necessary to learn, adapt, and ultimately build a better life for yourself. That was the book summary of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. We've hit the highlights today, but let's be real. A summary can only take you so far. The real magic happens when you read the book yourself. It's in those quiet moments when a particular story or simple phrase hits you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book is worth your time. If anything we've talked about today has resonated with you, grab a copy, because reading it isn't just learning. It's an experience that can genuinely change the way you see yourself and your daily life. And if you found this summary valuable, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next journey into another life-changing book in the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep growing together.